Welcome back, guys. Sorry for the long delay there. One of the rounds ran pretty late then. We're here with the final round of Swiss for today, round 9. This match will feature Nino Chimento versus Brian Greiving. We know that Nino is playing a Light Sworn deck in this round, so we're expecting him to win big or run out of cards. Fun fact for Nino, he is a had YCS success before.
And that is actually Brian Greiving, who is from the Netherlands, who actually did top YCS Brussels there.
Sorry, I got it mixed up. Yeah. Just give people's accomplishments around to anybody.
Yeah, well, we can just give them to somebody else, it's fine. Also, it is their bubble match. They are both 6-2 at the moment, so this win is going to basically put them through to the next day.
Yeah, living on the lifeline of that final loss, that will stop them progressing onto day 2 and having a chance at the World Championship. Okay, so currently the players are shuffling up. I still have my Herald of Perfection. Okay, let me just take that away. It's a 3 versus a 4 versus a 5. Okay, so the players shake hands. I think everybody's very excited to get right into their last round. You should have heard the cheering when the final table finished last round.
Everybody was very happy.
We're seeing it's hat.
It looks like it is hat.
I don't think we've seen a lot of hat today, but I don't think a single one of those decks has won on this that we featured.
Not so far.
Oh.
No. Though it was hat and then bat, and now it is also hat, but not cat.
Not cat, not yet. That's a work in progress. Okay, so we're seeing Eclipse Wyvern. Just waiting for the guys write the hands in. I see a Judgment Dragon. That card causes so much rage with players. Because it's like, oh, I've got Judgment Dragon. That's great.
It's huge.
It's got 3,000 attack as well.
Absolutely humongous.
And it destroys all of my cards. Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes, that's definitely what it does. Do we have a Judgment Dragon, Minerva, Eclipse Wyvern, Lumina, and Mind Control?
Here we go.
Coming up in Brian Greiving's hand, we can see a Void Trap Hole, a Traptrix Track Hole, Book of Moon, Forbidden Lance, and the last card, which is hopefully...
Artifact Morale Pack. Okay, so that's going to be the... Where is he going with this? Okay, he summons Minerva. He's using this just to send cards to his graveyard, neither of which is a Light Sworn monster, but we do see Debris Dragon being sent. And Dionys. Okay, so Pot of Duality, Wiretap, Artifact Sanctum, and Firehand. He's going to go with the Firehand. Very safe. Light Sworn are a little bit random in terms of how much back row or spells and traps that they're going to be playing. So taking that Wiretap early, it's kind of risky if you find that you're playing against a Light Sworn deck that intends to just throw its whole hand at you and not have a single trap card.
Interesting tact into it there.
Yeah, Firehand. Because you haven't seen enough of this card this weekend, we'll attack and destroy the Minerva. Deal 800 points of damage. The 3 cards going face down for Brian. That's a Book of Moon, Traptrix, Trap Hole Nightmare, and Void Trap Hole. Very good answers. And it's Needlebug's Nest. Sends top 5 cards of your deck to the graveyard. In Light Sworn, that's great for you. And it's an Eclipse Wyvern that he sent, which is why he's now banishing the Judgment Dragon. We know it's his second. Brian hasn't seen that yet. Here, I can just show you the contents of his hand. We were talking a little bit about Judgment Dragon. Just have a read of that and you'll understand why it's like, wow. You can't ask for much more in a monster.
Not at all.
Really. So the thing that Brian's going to be keeping track of is how many different named Light Sworn monsters is in...
It does look like he has 4 different ones now.
Yeah, I mean at this stage with things like Needlebug's Nest, it's so hard to try and deny your opponent those 4 cards. It's a losing battle. Okay, let's bring the focus back to Nino's hand. He considers the mind control, as that would give him an easy way of dealing with the fire hand. Okay, it's a Eclipse Wyvern. Yep. Okay, he decides to just attack straight in. And since they're both at 1600 attack, as we spoke about earlier on in the day, puts the oh, it's Bookmoon. Yep. It puts the artifact player, hat player, in awkward position because he has no cards on the field to destroy, so he doesn't get the ice hand. So yeah, we're going to see an attack. The Eclipse Wyvern goes to the graveyard. No cards to banish.
Has been set.
Yep, it's the Brian's Hill currently looks like this. We're going to see a Soul Charge. Very good synergy with the Lightsworn deck, which is already sending many of its cards to the graveyard.
Now, I'm not quite sure whether we're going to see that Traptrix Trackfall Nightmare just yet, or if he's going to wait for the Judgment Dragon.
Yeah, Brian will know which cards he's looking out for. With he's got a Void Trap Hole as well. Okay, we're going for a Soul Charge for 3 monsters. He's got access to level 10 Synchro actually here, if he wants to. Card Trooper effect being activated, sending the top 3 cards. It's Raiden, Needlebug's Nest, and Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos.
Nice.
Works well with the Eclipse Wyverns he's got in the graveyard to banish, which will then put the Judgment Dragons into his hand. Or Judgment Dragon, rather, singular.
There's already a Judgment Dragon in the graveyard, I believe, as well.
There's one in his hand.
His graveyard and one removed from play, so
yeah.
We know where all 3 Judgment Dragons are at the moment. Now, if he's figured out that he's playing against Hat, and I think he has so far, I mean, you can see he's probably wondering
I'm going to have to say
it's going to run into.
I'd be surprised if he hasn't figured out that he's playing against a Hat deck.
Yeah, I know.
On this turn.
It's worth saying, though.
Yeah, you never know. It's people are tired. We're actually coming up to 11:30 p.m. local time here in Amsterdam. Okay, so we're seeing the Synchro Summon for a level 7, and it's Black Rose Dragon.
Ooh.
Does he use the effects? That's the question. Yes, he's going to activate the effect, and we're going to see Traptrix Nightmare Hole. I don't think that this Nino pushes over yet. He could still... He's got that...
something.
Yeah, he's still got that Blaster in his graveyard.
Oh, there is that Void Trap Hole that he doesn't know about.
Yeah, he's still... He doesn't know that his opponent has this down.
Then again, he does need to summon something that does have an effect on the summon to be able to play Void Trap Hole.
Okay. Just looking at that Star Eater. Okay, Lumina. Just to show you Nino's hand again. Yep, so he's got Minerva, Lightsworn Maiden, and Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner. This card is very, very powerful. It lets you get Lightsworn monsters out of your graveyard. It lets you craft these perfect scenarios, and it's now gotten so much better with the new cards that were added in the Realm of Light structure deck, because you've got the very powerful level 7 Synchro in Michael, who is just devastating to even this Hat deck.
Now the Sanctum has come out.
Yep, he's going for the disruption, taking out Lumina before Lumina can cause him any real damage.
He could have activated that effect, Lumina's effect in response, surely.
No. Lumina's effect is supposed to be 1. And he summons the Lumina, his opponent chains Artifact Sanctum. Morale attack triggers. You don't get a window to
be able to activate that.
To use the Lumina. It was a quick effect, you'd be right. Okay, he's considering everything here. And Brian still has that answer to a potential Judgment Dragon play. Okay. Mind Control. He has got a tuner in play, so he's going to take the Artifact Morale Tack. This is letting him go for a level 8 Synchro. Stardust Dragon. This is a... he decides on defense mode. Okay, he passes the play back to Brian here. And Brian has Forbidden Lance, Fiendish Chain, and another Artifact Morale Tack in his hand. He's going to tribute the Fire Hand for another Artifact Morale Tack.
And he's looking in his graveyard there. I believe he's just removed from play
Necro Gardener. Yeah, to protect the Stardust Dragon. Oh wait, does he not have? He doesn't have the 4 Lightsworn monsters, I don't believe.
Which is odd.
I see 1, 2, 3. Actually, 3 at the moment.
Oh. I need to get one more in there.
Another couple of Luminas. I'm not going to do it on its own. Got a Fiendish Chain, a Forbidden Lance, and a Void Trap Hole, so Brian is very prepared for any kind of Judgment Dragon play. And that Fiendish Chain would be very good against this Lumina should Nino decide to discard his Judgment Dragon in an effort to attempt some other kind of play from his graveyard. Okay, he decides Blaster, Dragon of Infernos, and he's going to banish the Eclipse Wyvern, and he's being asked by the judge. I believe he's being told he has to play faster. He has been taking quite a bit of time on this decision. Yep. So he's going to banish 2 dragons from his graveyard to summon Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. And that will allow him to, since Eclipse Wyvern was one of the cards banished, he will add Judgment Dragon to his hand, giving him 2 Judgment Dragons. Now he summons Lumina. Discards for Lumina's effect, and Fiendish Chain is activated.
Interesting target there for Fiendish Chain.
Yeah, it's stopping the Lumina. Okay, so there's an attack from Dragon Ruler Blaster Infernos on Artifact Morale Tack.
Which is more than likely they're looking at a Fiendish Chain. Not a Fiendish Chain, Forbidden Lance.
He's got the Forbidden Lance. Yep.
Yep, and he's going for it.
It slows that dragon down. It should be 100 points of damage. Yep.
Yeah. I think he's just realised there he's lost 800 attack.
Yep. Forbidden Lance right there for you guys.
Currently one of the best cards in the game.
It's a very, very good quick play spell. Almost in the moment people are too shy with their spell and trap removal. But when people were feeling a lot more confident about just mindlessly blowing up spell or traps, I really wanted to play Quick Booster with things like Forbidden Lance, or Forbidden Dress, just simply because you can shuffle your quick plays back into your graveyard, then set them straight on the field for your next turn. Brian currently playing Pot of Duality. We've seen an Ice Hand, a Artifact Sanctum, and he's blocking 1 card. Oh no, it's a Traptrix Dyneer. He goes for the Ice Hand. Summons the Ice Hand, declares an attack on the Lumina. That's going to put some more damage on Nino. I believe Nino just drew Soul Charge. We'll see. Let's see, 1, 2 different light swans.
Really not finding those Judgment Dragon plays.
Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3. I see 3 at the moment. Soul Charge. He's only got 3,700 life points left, so even taking 2 of these targets out leaves him in a very vulnerable position. Okay, yeah, one of these cards is riding. He's given up his battle phase as well for this, but he must be feeling pretty confident with the Stardust Dragon protecting his field.
And he's got another synchro.
It's Arcanite Magician. Arcanite Magician gains counters when it comes in, and then its attack goes up based on the number of counters, and he can remove a counter destroy card his opponent controls. So he's just going to straight away remove those 2 counters and take out the Void Trap Hole, which he couldn't use because the Magician comes in with 400 attack and then puts spell counters, which increases his own attack. Very good answer to Brian's board, and kind of unexpected.
Oh, hello. And here comes
the rank 7.
Oh, it's a Dracosack.
It's the Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack.
And there goes Memeleo.
Yeah, that was a very quick play, shifts back. Soul Charge, again preventing Nino from attacking this turn. So he's going to search for the Bottomless Trap Hole with Memelo. It's not... We haven't pulled this card up today, it's a very popular one right now. Lets you search your deck for a variety of trap holes, and as we've seen, we're seeing Void Trap Hole, Bottomless Trap Hole, Trap Tricks,
Trap Hole Nightmare.
Trap Hole Nightmare. Foolish Burial was just drawn by Nino.
Which would give him his Judgment Dragon play, unfortunately.
Okay, he's going to tribute one of his tokens. That's Foolish Burial. Sending... What's he going to send? Redox. Okay, so we're seeing a Dragon Ruler Light Swan deck. Redox, Dragon of the Boulders. Blaster and Black Rose Dragon being banished.
And Judgment Dragon?
Yep, for Blaster. Did he use Blaster's effect this turn, or was that last turn?
That was last turn.
That was last turn. Oh yeah, because his opponent then summoned the Mermello and got the Bottomless Trap Hole.
And Redux. Although this is a clear play for another rank 7.
Yep, and Judgment Dragon.
And there's the Judgment Dragon.
That's...
enough damage for a game.
Is it?
If he can Dracosack attack this turn?
I believe he tributed the tokens that can attack.
He did, yeah. But
he left it in defense mode, so it wasn't going to be able to attack. But yeah, you got the 3,000 from Judgment Dragon, the 2,500 from Stardust Dragon. You had the Dragon Rulers on top of that. That's a lot of damage coming in. First game going to Nino from Italy.
Definitely. Interesting Light Spawn Dragon Ruler combo that's going on.
Yeah, well, they complement each other pretty well because you're sending so many of your cards from your deck to the graveyard just for your Light Spawn effects. So you can attack your opponent from a different axis because the Dragon Rulers are big recurable threats that your opponent has to deal with. And at the same time, they're banishing the Eclipse Wyverns, which are letting you add those very scary Judgment Dragons to your hand. Your opponent's going to be very hard pushed to deal with a Judgment. They have to answer the Judgment Dragon, otherwise they're going to lose all of their cards on the field. And then it's 3,000 damage, and that's if your opponent doesn't have the second. And those Eclipse Wyverns, they're going to make it pretty consistent. A card I actually really like in the Light Swan deck that's not seen play is Dawn Knight. It has an ability, if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, even by Synchro Summon, you get to send a light monster from your deck to the graveyard. So you can use it to trigger your Light Swan Wolves or a number of other options. But the other really cool effect is if it's sent from your deck to the graveyard, you can go for your graveyard and put any light monster back on top of your deck. So depending on how your end phase effects work, you can do things like put the Judgment Dragons back on top of your deck, or if you're in the middle of a chain and So if you're in the middle of resolving many of these end phase sending effects, you can put the wolf's back, Lightsworn Wolf back on top of your deck, or Minerva for the extra.
I believe it's called.
Sorry?
The Lightsworn Wolf Ryko.
Oh no, Lightsworn Beast Wolf. Not the Ryko. Ryko's a flip effect. Wolf is the 2100 attack, cannot be normal summoned.
Ah, yes.
Guy, but you can put that back on top. Yeah, that guy there.
On the.
But with the Dawn Knight, you can put him back on top of the deck and then send him again.
He is putting the Ryko into his deck now.
Yes, Ryko is very good at harassing a large number of your opponent's cards, continuous cards, and being a flip effect monster that sends cards to the graveyard in addition to harassing your opponent's cards, it's very good. And it's spell and trap destruction that will be mostly being used in Brian's turn.
Matt.
Yes.
Madolce artifact Traptrix.
Matt. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Okay, we're just shuffling up and getting ready for game 2 in this final round today. For those of you just tuning in right now, we've got Nino Chimento versus Brian Greiving, Lightsworn versus Hat. And if you are just tuning in, you've missed out on so much today. I had to say my favourite feature match, despite us having a lot of missing card entries, was the Spirit Fairy Perfect Herald of Perfection.
Definitely.
I said perfect twice because it was so good.
It was essentially a lesson for his opponent on how to get completely wrecked by a Herald of Perfection deck.
I don't think there was much else you could learn from that. It was two massive combo decks that are favoured going first, and the die roll fell in Federico, his favour. Okay, so the hands have been drawn up. For the Lightsworn player Nino, we're seeing Judgment Dragon, Mind Control, Card Trooper. I didn't catch what that trap card was. But for Brian, we are seeing his cards come up. This is a pretty good hand for him. A Book of Moon, Mystical Space Typhoon, Torrential Tribute, DD Crow,
comes
Call of Wanted, and Omelo.
And the bottomless trap hole on the back of the bottom of the deck.
Yep.
The bottomless trap hole on the bottom.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
He's got a DD Crow in his hand to help. He side decked that in most likely to help him manage. Interrupt Nino's plays with Lumina.
Also Judgment Dragon.
Yeah, and don't deny that Judgment Dragon. Card Trooper is summoned for Nino. How many of you remember Troop Dupe Scoop?
Oh, Troop Dupe.
That's where you played Card Trooper with Machine Duplication, sent 9 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and just attacked. Okay, Book of Moon on the Card Trooper before it can use its effect. And we see a face down Royal Decree. Oh, that was the trap card in his hand, Royal Decree. Very good.
Fortunately, there's a Mystical Space Typhoon to answer it.
Yeah, again, the Royal Decree, it seems really, really good, but it's very easy to answer. Maybe a bit too easy for what I would feel comfortable with. So the Card Trooper's going to be destroyed in battle. And
there is the card draw, which is always nice.
Yeah, the self-replacing effect makes it very low risk to play that into your opponent's many face-down cards. And if you're wondering what a face-down Traptrix, what Brian's hiding, you can take a look at this here. We're about to see Lumina being summoned to Nino's field. Lumina, again able to, here's the bottomless trap hole, and Mystical Space Typhoon and Chain. So we resolve the full chain, and Royal Decree is no longer there to negate the bottomless trap hole. Bottomless trap hole takes Lumina out of the game. He wanted Nino to feel comfortable trying to commit to a bigger play when he thought the Royal Decree was going to block out any kind of response from Brian. So he doesn't just play Mystical Space Typhoon immediately. He lets his opponent commit to a play and then takes it out from him. So it's well-timed Mystical Space Typhoon. These little advantages that he's trying to gain in this game. So let's take a look at Nino's card. He's just drawn. He's got Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos, Foolish Burial, Eclipse Wyvern, and I could read the rest of these cards out, but I'm sure you're more than capable of just reading those. So the Eclipse Wyvern, I can bring up for you guys.
There's the Dimensional Prison.
Yeah, Dimensional Prison. To take the Eclipse Wyvern out and prevent him from... Brian's playing these cards pretty well. He knows how to best take the steam out of Nino's plays.
There's the other Murmilio.
Yeah, I really like Murmilio. It's a card I do not mind summoning against my opponent just to test the waters and try and bait some cards, because you're already, once you've used the search effect, you're already getting some kind of protective card from an opponent's play. So you can just attack with the 1600 guy and see what happens. We already are seeing 2 direct attacks to Nino. It's going to drop him down to 3200 life points. Nino's hand currently looks like this. I can't show you the contents of his graveyard, but I don't believe there's any Light Swan monsters in there. And there's even a DD Crow ready, and the Mind Control over on Brian's side. He commits to the Xe summon and makes summons Laval Chain, activating the Laval Chain to put Dynera on top of the deck. That's already putting Nino in a really awkward position, because next turn Brian can make create another rank 4 Xyz monster and take out one of Nino's spell and trap cards. Okay, so card is drawn, and it is Raiden, the Light Sworn. He's a Light Swan guy. The hand of the Light Swan, sorry. That Laval Chain is probably looking pretty tempting for the Mind Control, yeah.
And there it is.
The face down cards on Brian's field, nothing really capable of dealing with this this Mind Control. So Laval Chain is going to send one card straight from the deck to the graveyard, or put a card on top. We'll see which option Nino uses, because either are pretty viable for him, because he could send his Wolf Light Swan Beast to the graveyard and special summon that, or he can get his Dragon Rulers in the graveyard immediately. Reconsiders his hand.
I think he's a little cautious of what's sitting there.
Yeah, he knows his opponent's got face down cards, and he's very aware that this could blow up in his face. Card is actually very good for Light Swan, which is not a card not seeing too much play. Is the Light Swan Sanctuary in the hat matchup, because all the trap holes destroy the monsters, and you can just remove your shine counters and protect your monsters, and you get that hand fixing that you can use each turn, and it lets you play one Celestia without risking drawing it and not being able to use it. You can just swap it for a card that you're more likely to use. Okay, so the Laval Chain sends Eclipse Wyvern to the graveyard, which then banishes a Judgment Dragon from Nino's deck. Just in case you're interested in Laval Chain. Very good Xyz monster. Okay, Raiden Hand of the Light Sworn is summoned. A new level 4 tuner. And Torrential Tribute's played. Again, more calculated disruption by Brian. He knows which plays he needs to shut down. Foolish Burial. Nope, Banish Pile getting spilled a little bit. Let's see what Nino elects to send to the graveyard.
Probably looking at some sort of White Swan. Oh, no, that's a Tempest.
That is correct. Okay, so Blaster's being activated. Okay, so the Eclipse Wyvern and the Tempest are being banished in order to, and while that's happening, he gets to add the he gets to add the Judgment Dragon to his hand. Okay, so yeah, Void Trap Hole. Nino is just having a read of it. It's gonna banish the. Wait. Is he using the Blaster's
The
search
Tempest effect.
Oh, the Tempest effect. Okay, yeah. For a second, I was thinking he just summoned the Blaster. He's not going to be able to do that. And of course, it's Tempest. So, Brian, just a cool little Haunted. We're seeing this a lot actually with these hat decks. Is they're running out of. Yeah, he had the Denier from the Laval Chain. Running out of cards to protect them, and then just getting outclassed by bigger monsters. Cool little Haunted being used. And yeah, Nino's going to pick up his cards. He's only on 1500 life points, and he's not going to be able to survive this turn. Brian playing that extremely well.
Definitely.
Knowing exactly how to attack Nino's deck to cause the most amount of disruption, to eventually force Nino into a position where he couldn't get anywhere. He just couldn't get into that game. Brian leaving that game with a perfect 8,000 life points.
It is likely that he's tried this matchup before. It feels like it.
Yeah, when the Realm Light Structure deck was announced as being legal for this event, I know many players scrambled to do their play testing for this. So many people would have play tested against the Light Sworn matchup as well. I'd have been surprised if people. I did it again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she said surprised again.
If it would have. Yeah, not testing that matchup would have been a really bad idea coming into this tournament. Light Sworn, they are a thing. So we're going to see some pile shuffling. I don't think we've really seen either of them go into their extra decks, sorry, side decks here for any changes. They must both feel pretty comfortable with what they have from the last games.
That's an interesting power shuffle. Again, shuffling is interesting.
It's, if you say so.
Look at that. There's a. I don't know what that says about him, but it says something.
Brian waiting patiently for Nino to finish.
Just to repeat, we're in round 9, as it says on the screen.
Okay, seems to be some discussion with the staff there. Okay, so Nino probably starting here since Brian won game 2. I see Eclipse Wyvern, Judgment Dragon, Soul Charge, Necro Gardener, and Raiko.
That's one.
Yes. I always get the little subtitles on them. And we see an Ice Hand, Fire Hand, Book of Moon, Void Trap Hole, and I can't make out that last one. I think it's a Trap Tricks monster.
We'll get that information in a moment, though.
Yeah, we'll get that as it loads up. Sick card is drawn and it's Raiden. Here we see Brian's hand loading in. Raiden sending, I think that was 2 Light Sworn monsters.
Yep.
Straight to the graveyard.
Soul Charge in there in the hand, which he's definitely contemplating on playing.
Yep, he's got a 1900 Raiden. Yeah, turn 1 Soul Charge. Very few decks can support that kind of play. He's only paying 1,000 for it, so he's not overcommitting. He doesn't need to at this point. Brian has no cards on the field. Spending a lot of life points against your opponent's unknown hand. It doesn't seem like a solid plan. So we're going to see a Synchro summon. Stardust Dragon. Very powerful against the hat deck, since it uses so many destruction cards and the Stardust can just blank them. Make sure he puts in defense mode to deny his opponent the chance to use number 101. And he sends
or even to use the hands as well.
Yeah, just stop them by charging in for the 100 exploding hands technique. Although it's only 6, really.
There is only 6. There is no...
We could play Prominence Hand. Okay, Necro Garden are going to be making sure that that Lumina sticks around. Okay, so many cards being set here from Brian. Yeah, so we're seeing Fire Hand, Book of Moon, Void Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, and Artifact Morale Attack going down. And the Lumina is going to discard an Eclipse Wyvern. Solemn Warning activated. It's going to negate the Lumina and destroy her.
I believe there's a ruling being asked.
Yeah, probably. Can he use the Solemn Warning in response to the Lumina effect?
Definitely. Let's see how that's ruled.
Yep, it's up to the judges how the event runs right here. And yep, I think that's yeah, Brian plays 2,000 life points. Brian has in his hand a single ice hand. He's got the fire hand in attack position. What's Nino going to do?
Does he have the...
Oh, he has a Debris Dragon. And there is a Card Trooper in the graveyard from earlier. In Nino's hand he also has a Raikou and a Judgment Dragon. Okay, so he activates the effect of Card Trooper. Its effect is negated, but he still has to... he still wants to pay the cost, which is sending cards to the graveyard. Just pull up Card Trooper again for you guys.
Definitely a great card in Lightspawn.
Yeah. Definitely. So he's considered a Synchro Summon? His graveyard's looking starting to look pretty big at this stage. Yep, Synchro Summon. Black Rose.
Dragon.
Does he go for it, you reckon?
It'd be silly after bringing it out to no.
Just trying to think of other level 7 synchro monsters that he would have went with in that circumstance. He considers. Yeah, I believe he is using Black Rose Dragon's effect.
And I believe that the...
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, he could have used the Void Trap Hole. But what would have happened in that situation is Stardust Dragon would have negated it.
But he was going for the Moral Attack.
Yeah. And then Stardust Dragon would come back in the end of turn, so it's just better to let that one go. Straight down with the Judgment Dragon. And now he's going for Dragon Rulers. And he gets the other Judgment Dragon back. Yeah, Brian has only an Ice Hand in hand. And he's only got 6,000 life points.
Game.
Light Swan.
Wow, Light Swan just
yeah,
making its play and
even with those free back row cards, Brian being locked out by the Stardust Dragon, and that Void Trap Hole was just not going to do anything good for him. He just wanted to... Well, Nino was just going to force through his plays. Got the 2 Judgment Dragon. You're on 6,000.
Math.
What you going to do?
Yeah, just 6,000 directly. Just...
How not clear your field for the troubles? Well, Black Rose already...
Black Rose already did that, but yeah, it's definitely a great play.
Fantastic. Great end to today's Swiss rounds.
Definitely.
I'm not entirely sure how many players are coming back tomorrow. I think it's the top 100.
I can actually get that information for you now. We did say that we were going to reveal that. I believe it's the top 128.
Plus anybody who's got no more than 2 losses on their record. So for many of these players, this is the end of the line for their chance to get to the World Championships, and we'll have to wait until next year to try again.
Definitely.
Yeah, we just put the request in.
It is the top 128.
Top 128, or anybody with no less than 2 minutes. No,
Which
less
means
than 2
that
minutes.
this bubble match has definitely taken Nino through.
Yeah, Nino progresses,
tomorrow.
and Brian at a very late 10 past 12.
10 past midnight.
10 past midnight.
Yeah, local time.
Finds himself with a record, no longer able to progress. That is that's a shame.
That's a shame.
And again, that fills all of our day of the hat decks that we featured, and it was a lot of them. It just seems like when watching it, they're running out of answers.
It definitely feels there's been a lot of hype about hat. I've been told to expect everybody to be running it, for it to be the best tech. But from what we've seen so far, it's good. It's very good. It wins games, but
it runs out of steam.
Yeah, it's ran out of steam.
I just stopped having answers to my opponent's threats, and now that people are becoming far more aware of how to play around all of the technical cards, it's just not proving as effective as when it was when it first appeared. Yeah. Okay, guys.
It looks like that is going to be it for today.
Yeah.
Thanks for bearing with us through this essentially 13 hours of Swiss. I believe we started at 11.
Yeah, we were on site for 7 a.m., so we're very tired.
So yeah, thank you for sticking with us. It's been a lovely day. Well, that's the end of Swiss, of round 9 of the European Championship 2014. We will see you tomorrow for the top 128 cut, and definitely we'll be getting to you on the deck breakdown of then as well.
Sure thing, guys. Okay, look after yourselves. Have a good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are tuning in from.
Good night or good morning.
We'll catch you tomorrow.